Sills! The start of week 4 of the National Football League. I love it. Love it. Lions and Packers. Pretty good game tonight. You know, it's going to tell us a little bit about both teams, right? I love it. I'm not really sure if the Lions are real yet. And I really don't know what to think of the Packers. I mean, we're getting into the month of the season now, and I'm still not sure who these two teams are, right? So this will tell us a little bit about both teams. Are the Lions really a playoff team? All right. Hey, by the way, Joe Theismann will be with us, a former NFL MVP, will be with us at 4:30 Eastern time. Hey, I want to start the show off, as we always do throughout the week, with our great friends with Hooters. My guy Tone will show you a code word throughout the program. All you have to do is identify that code word. Then you email us all your information. And what we do is we put you in rotation. And on a football Monday, we will name your name if you are the winners. All we need to do is have you send it to dansilioshow@gmail.com. Simple as that, the code word, and we'll randomly pick some winners on a football Monday, like Patrick and Edgardo, and maybe you can be a winner as well to get those gift certificates from our friends at Hooters. It's been a grand slam, to say the least. All right. We have to rename this Tush Push thing. We do. And believe it, I turned to somebody in my family, which is my aunt. The brotherly love shove. How do you like that? The brotherly love shove. By the way, I'm going to ask Joe Theismann what he thinks of the Tush Push. Okay? The brotherly shove? And maybe Philadelphia. Hey, the brotherly love shove. I mean, you're sending good vibes out. Everybody knows it's brotherly. It's Philly. Tush Push is better. What a weirdo. Tush Push does not represent Philadelphia. Okay? Senor goes, brotherly shove is shorter. Yeah, it's like International House of Pancakes, right? That's why you cut it down to IHOP. I got it. Okay? The bum scrum? Yeah, no, because then I think of then I think of Mark Sanchez with bum scrum for some reason. I don't know. Mark Sanchez's name pops up. Okay? I mean, I don't know. The brotherly shove. Okay, I mean, brotherly love shove. I think Philadelphians probably don't like the word love. Hey, that's probably it, right? Right, Tone? You like brotherly shove, but love, I don't know if that's really a lot to do with Philly there, man. The brotherly shove is perfect. Tush Push is cringy as hell. It sure is, man. Hey, Jason Cole said that's something that would be in the playbook with Kyle Shanahan. I didn't say that. Go back and look at the tape. Okay? Go back and look at the tape. I never said that, okay? That didn't come from me. I got to clarify some things here. So, like, James, I love you, our IT guy, Tone, and these guys. They are fabulous teasers. And what I mean by that, these guys put up sound bites, or Tone sends over a sound bite. James posts them over on our Twitter page. This guy's saying Sam Howell's better than Jalen Hurts. I never at once said that. I said he's playing the same ball. Statistically, as Sam Howell. Not at any time did I say, hey, you know what? I'll take Sam Howell over Jalen Hurts. Come on, man. I never said that. I never said that. But one clip from James, this guy's a moron. He would take. I never said that. I said Jalen Hurts is playing Sam Howell ball. His numbers have played out that way so far this year. Will they continue? Probably not. Probably not. By the way, CZ, and I heard Rob today talk about kill the quarterback. I heard Rob say that, okay? As much as that Sam Howell topic burned me up, the reality is you never said Howell was better than Hurts. I never at any time. You just compared their numbers. That's it. Nothing more or less. Look at Tone coming out of his shell there a little more. As much as that burned me up, as it did many of you, Jalen's playing down here. This guy may never get better than this. You've seen Jalen up here. So no one made that reference that you've seen Jalen at the top here, right? You've never seen that guy up here. Maybe the Cowboy game last year, but that's not enough of a sample size to sit there and go, that guy's great. Okay? Now, look, I want to say this about Sims. Because if you've ever seen my rant about the University of Miami, I said something like, in the middle of the rant, I said something like, kick him in the balls, gouge his eyes out, stick him with the knife. And people got upset with that. Did you really think, or like my bounty thing that I tweeted out one time, do you really think that I believe that? Do you really think that that's how football players talk? That's all he's doing. It's not over the line. It's just how certain people talk. You see, you got to remember something when you're an athlete. And this is where the broadcaster guys don't like people like me. Because you know why? They would never talk like that. That's because they've never been in a locker room. That's what aggravates them. They've never been in a locker room where guys talk like that and don't mean it. So at the end of the day, you don't really believe that Chris Sims said kill Hurts. He meant that every guy in the locker room, and by the way, when players are in the locker room, I'm going to kill that guy. Hey, when I see Sam Howell on the field on Sunday, I'm going to kill that guy. It's not a literal statement. Unless you're mentally ill. Okay? I'm always hot and cold about Sims, but I won't jump out the window on him on his comment. He just kept it real. Everybody's not built for those type of talks. That's right, man. That's exactly right. You got the professional broadcaster who thinks that's over the line. Hey, and that's an opinion. But I never once took anything that Chris Sims said where he said, hey, you got to take him out. You got to kill that guy. Where I really thought that Chris Sims was talking about somebody murdering him. Who in their right mind thinks that? But some maniac liberal thinks that. I can't believe he's talking like that. I can't believe it. Relax. It's a figure of speech. That's all it is. Now, he's just telling you the truth. Are you under the impression that people aren't saying this every single Sunday about Hurts? We got to kill that guy. We got to get that guy off the field any means necessary. You see, I get it. You can't. Hey, and this is what's always happened to me. Okay? This is what's always happened to me. I got to always remember, not every one of you out there can handle being talked to like a coach would talk to me or how people talk in the locker room. It's a different environment and different community. 90% of you are not built for it. You're just not. Just in our daily conversations, you're not built for it. You can't be spoken to like that, okay? And that also doesn't help. he's a giant guy. He's not really a giant guy, but I get it because of his own man. I get it, okay? I get it, right? Okay? Hey. Now his criticism towards Hurts probably is what aggravates you the most. And what he says about Jalen aggravates you more than the killing comment. Okay? How many coaches say go hunting, guys? Tons. Every coach I've ever had. Every coach I've ever had. Hey, we got to get that guy. We have got to get Montana off the field. Hit that guy any means necessary. You've got to hit him with a chair. Here, watch this. You know what guys would do? Hey, if I have to hit him with a chair on the sidelines, I'm gonna. Some of you probably are going, what? You don't really believe that, do you? Man. It's about building your anger up for a dude. NFL football and football's played with anger. Do you think you go out there and there's some sort of debate? You got to get yourself in a lather and you've got to want to murder people mentally, not figuratively. It's a hand-to-hand combat sport. Nobody goes into games going, hey, everybody, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, Trevor? I mean, now, hey, J. Rule with a pistol. We're not there. That's not going to work. That ain't going to work. But don't take people's speeches as actualities here. Nobody's looking to murder anybody. It's just the way guys talk. Football people talk like that. Oh, I know. That's why they're cavemen. That's why they don't belong on the air. I know. The problem with today's fan is we want to take the gladiator mentality out of the gladiator. But we want guys to play hard and give their all. We can't have it both ways. Football is not a gentleman's game. It's a caveman's game. You think gladiators go into the arena wanting to kiss their opponent? Queensberry rules. Congratulations to you. Let's have a fair fight. I don't want a fair fight. If I have to kill you, I will. He said kill you. It's a figure of speech. It's a mentality. Don't get sideways on it. I mean, seriously. See, when you say something about a guy throwing up to you, I think it was Devontae Foreman who did that, and I tweeted something. I know I shouldn't have. I'll give a hurricane $1,000 to take that guy out. You didn't really believe that, did you? But some did. And I'm like, you're kidding me. I'm sitting in my underwear. I was. When I threw that out on Twitter, I was sitting literally in my underwear watching Sunday football. My wife was next to me, and I was eating eggs and with a bagel. Awful visual? Probably so, JM. Okay. Hey, if anyone's eating right now, I apologize. Okay? Okay. Hey, by the way, I'm going to get into some topics here in a second here. Okay? We're going to get to the topics here. I'm done with that. I want to talk about Brock Purdy for a second. But the brotherly shove, you know what they're saying about it? It's not a football. It's not a football play. I can't think of more of a football play than the brotherly shove. Do you actually think a field goal is a football play? Do you think a field goal is a football play? I don't. That's not a football play. Okay? That is maybe the quintessential definition of a football play. Strength versus strength. Athleticism versus athleticism. Strategy versus strategy. Old roots football. The foundation of the NFL and football in America is that one play. Football derived from rugby. That is a historical play, if anything. That defines football, that play. The passing game doesn't define pro football. That Eagle play defines pro football. You can't have a more historical play than the brotherly shove. You can't. You cannot have more of a defining play that defines football than that play. Field goals, punting. Give me a break. I could do without all of those plays. That defines what football is. And you know what makes it even more troubling to others? Is that not everyone can do it. So there's a skill to it. You know, if everyone, here's when you know a play's illegal. When everyone's doing it and succeeding at it. I would say 80% of the teams or 85% of the people that try that don't succeed with it. The Eagles have a play that they're very successful at. You can't get any more of a play that defines what professional football is than what the Eagles do with that brotherly shove. Can't. See, I like this goes back to the previous comment. See, I like boxing and football because the stakes are higher. The passion and sacrifice required to succeed is enormous. You can't even quantify it. When I see someone that's willing to die for something, it just stokes my fire, Sills. That's right. When you're willing to put your ass on the line for something and you're willing to sacrifice bodies, parts, your limbs. I've had almost every part of my body broken. My jaw, my arms, both my knees, my feet. Every finger's been broken. My back. I don't have a normal night's sleep. Okay? I don't sleep longer than 3 hours at one time. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. All right. You may like this or not. Here we go. You may like this or not. I don't know if it was preseason or week one, but we saw Steichen and the Colts try to replicate the Eagles' QB sneak, and they still couldn't do it. Even Anthony Richardson, who's a bigger dude than Jalen. Dude, I saw college guys trying to do that play and fail crazy at a high rate. Here we go, Trev. How many people believe that Brock Purdy is the real deal? Perfect fan base to talk to, because you guys think Jalen Hurts is the real deal after one great year. How many people think that Brock Purdy is the real deal? Joseph says, not me. Haven't seen enough significant games. You didn't see the playoff game he won against the Cowboys? You guys lose to the Cowboys. He beat them in the playoffs. You didn't see that? I'll refresh your memory here in a minute. Need to see more. I don't. I'm not even going to front or BS you, Sills. I'm starting to think he's legit. And I hate to say it. Let's take this into context. Now, you got to remember something here. When I make this comparison, eras are different. Completion percentages are different. So I know it was a different NFL. Okay? But let's make a comparison. Who's the greatest quarterback in the history of the San Francisco 49ers? Let's think. Oh, wait, I really don't have to. It's Joe Montana. 4 Super Bowls, no losses, 135 quarterback rating, destroyed quarterbacks like Marino and Elway, Esiason, Ken Anderson, couple Hall of Famers, couple borderline Hall of Famers. Montana, right? All right. Brock Purdy's first 8 regular season starts. Purdy 8-0. Montana 2-6. Completion percentage. Brock Purdy 67.9. Almost 70% of his passes. Montana 63.4. Different league. Passing yards. Wow. 1834 for Purdy. 1322 for Montana. Total touchdown to interceptions. Purdy 17, 2 picks. Montana 11 touchdowns and 6 INTs. Passer rating. Brock Purdy 113.6. Passer rating for Montana 83.1. And today, Brian Baldinger said, I'm not comparing Brock Purdy to Joe Montana, but he has a lot of the same traits that Montana has. And how he gets the ball out of his hand, his quick decision-making, and he is a lot like what Joe was. That's pretty high praise from a guy who evaluates all the players in the league on a daily basis. He's showing you the same characteristics of Joe Montana with Brock Purdy. That's pretty high praise. I take Brian's word, and I have a lot of validity to it with the fact that I know he's been right on a lot of things. You can't he's not comparing anything when it comes to results yet. He's saying he's got a better start. Now, I would say this too. You got to put everything into context here. Who was Joe throwing to his first year as a starter? Freddie Solomon, Henry Cooper. He wasn't throwing to Jerry Rice. He wasn't throwing to guys like that. Okay? I don't even know if he had Roger Craig on the team yet. So that was a very limited, talented team. They won a Super Bowl, though. That's your takeaway every day, comparing quarterbacks to Jalen. Tomorrow it'll be whatever played tonight. Whatever, Prince. I'm telling you, your guy right now has a long way to go before anybody's going to consider that guy. If you don't look at Brock Purdy and think that Brock Purdy's getting out to a great – Brock Purdy's playing better ball right now than your guy. And he's got the same kind of talent around him that you do. Christian McCaffrey was just named the Offensive Player of the Month in the NFC. I don't see anybody on that Philly team even remotely close to that. Oh, the offense is struggling. I forgot. I mean, or it's – what is it? It still has to find its pace, even though the 49ers have. Oh, okay. All right. Hey, you guys want another 3 weeks to figure it out? Hey, you've got Washington this week. You should be able to put up a ton of points against Washington. Hey, I think that's a great point. If Hurts doesn't throw for 300 yards versus Washington this week, and you guys don't put a 40 burger on them, don't you think that there's question marks again for your offense? Or no, do you need another 3 weeks? Are you going to need another 3 weeks? Just tell me. I'm open for anything. I'm open for anything. Do you need it? If it doesn't work, will there be another excuse come Monday that you need another week because the offense is just not with 7 Pro Bowlers on it? Will you need another 2 weeks to figure it out? 49ers sure like to have. You got an analyst at the NFL Network comparing the quarterback to Joe Montana. You got a player that just named the offensive player of the month in San Francisco. And they look like the best team in the league next to the Dolphins right now. Give you to the bye? So you're going to wait for your offense to fart around to the bye. Wow. I tell you what, if your offense is playing the same way by the bye, you got a problem. When's the bye? Is that 6 weeks? Is that week 6? The bye? 7? If you're still fumbling around and stumbling around like you are now, you got a problem. Do you think the bye's going to fix it? Dude, you're in the shitty end of your schedule right now. Here, and I'm just showing you here. Again, Brian Baldinger compared him to Montana. I didn't. Well, compared his traits to Montana. Okay? Hey, Washington beat Arizona. I think Arizona's a shit team too. They did beat the Cowboys. And they beat the Cowboys up, actually. Right? So like the bye, we're coming up on the bye here. Week 10. Is there such a thing as peak too soon? Tone just asked. Absolutely. How many times do you see a team in September look like the Dolphins? They get to January, they look like shit. Hey, Tone, can I get that super chat, please? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, teams peak. So how would Purdy look without all weapons around him? That's a criticism Jalen has to deal with. Let's be fair. Can he carry a team like Patrick Mahomes? No. I don't believe he can. No, but he's playing great with those players around him. He's playing great with those players around him. Jalen's not. So far. Be fair. Be fair. So far. Yeah. So far. Hurts has weapons. He totally does. Hey, Niner, he's got 7 Pro Bowlers. He's got 7 Pro Bowlers, 3 in the O-line itself. And get this, here's my rub and why I have an ass with all those folks that are saying that they're just not on the same page as they were a year ago, and they're blaming Brian Johnson. So you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and 3 Pro Bowl players, and Dickerson is probably the 4th offensive line Pro Bowler. You got Swift, who probably will make the Pro Bowl if he continues his trend, and you're telling me you're struggling in the passing game. I don't know why. Were you not prepared? So wait a minute, let me get this right. So do you blame Sirianni for not having the team prepared? And Brian Johnson for not having the team prepared? Is that what we're doing here? Which team has a greater potential than the 49ers, who are playing their best ball now? The Eagles, who are not playing their best ball but are winning. The Eagles. The Eagles totally do. Absolutely, Prince. So do you – okay, so let me get this right. Everybody, including Tone and all of you, are saying this right now, that the team and the offense is struggling because of Brian Johnson. And the quarterback. So the coaches didn't prepare the team for the start of the season? Why? What's different? Shane Steichen has made that much of a difference. Well, then he was the head coach. You can't have it both ways. What makes a great coach? How could you call him a great coach when you're not prepared? Niners are prepared. Dolphins are totally prepared. So the coaches did not prepare the team properly. Got to blame Nick Sirianni for this. and Howie Roseman for not having this team properly prepared for the start of the season? Yes or no? What is it on why they're not good in the passing game? No preseason? Well, that's a fundamental decision by the organization and the coaching staff. So your coaches and your organization are to blame for this team getting out slowly. Is that fair? Which is it? If you don't want to blame Jalen, let's do this. I won't blame Jalen. So then we have to look at the bigger picture here. And by the way, Sue goes, but still winning. Clearly, you're winning because you're in the shit end of your schedule. You're never winning a Super Bowl playing like this. You won't win your division playing like this because you can't beat Dallas. Dallas lost to Arizona. So what? Dallas always loses to shitty teams, but beats you. I mean, that's their MO. We know, when you guys say this, hey, you know what Dallas is? I do. They drop games to Arizona and beat Philly. Yeah, I do know. Yeah, I do know. You're right. For the last 25 years, Dallas is this, right? They lose games to Arizona but beat Philly. Is that fair? Yeah. That's nothing. And get this. How about split? Okay? Tone goes, here's my honest opinion. I'm disappointed in Sirianni and the offensive staff. Here's why. They still have not developed real answers to the blitz in the passing game. That's because their running backs are shitty pass protectors. Okay? That's clearly the problem here. They still have no developed real answers to the blitz. It's been 3 seasons and we're still seeing whack-ass bubble screens to wide receivers. I need to see the team develop counter punches to opponents. Where's the screen game, Tone? Guys, where's the screen game? I thought DeAndre Swift was going to be some sort of like Christian McCaffrey. They're not using him like Christian McCaffrey at all. Okay? At all. You don't believe in the screen game because the quarterback can't see the field and the screen game. That comes with time and development. Mahomes sucked with the screen game his first 2 years in Kansas City. It's not uncommon to quarterbacks. Dude, being a progressive reading quarterback takes time. It's a skill set. Reading defenses is not just an innate thing. It takes studying, like you're studying for the bar exam. You just don't pass the bar because you have talent. You pass the bar because you study. It takes no talent to pass the bar. It takes study habits. The kid has them. This was not going to be what you thought, and many people in Philly thought, where this was going to be an overnight success. This was going to have peaks and valleys. But you're not patient enough with it. Playing that position and left tackle and center and middle linebacker in the NFL is something that takes time. N'Kobe's going to, no, he's not. You guys think N'Kobe Dean comes back, that's going to be a plus. Yeah, a plus maybe roster-wise. That kid hasn't played, but what, a half? And then you're going to be taking on these guys that know how to read defenses. Not Sam Howell. This was not going to be an overnight deal with Jalen Hurts. It was never going to be. You saw 1 year of, get this. Do you guys remember when the Wildcat came into the NFL and it took the league by storm? Remember when the Mouse Davis offense came into the league, right? People didn't know how to defend it. Took everybody a year, and the Wildcat's a non-factor anymore. That's what's happened with the Philly passing game. They've got to figure it out. or expand it. And that's what most good coordinators do. They figure it out. Everything is a counterpunch. Okay? Everything is a counterpunch. You throw something out. Defenses throw it back. You got to come back with something now. That's how you develop a passing game like Kansas City is. Okay? Hot take alert. I like Dean, but I'm not in any rush to throw him back out there with Cunningham and Murrow playing as well as they are. They're probably thinking about that. Kobe loses starting position? Probably. Or it'll be a personnel. This is where Howie gets in the way. If you take Cunningham and Murrow out where they're playing well right now, they're going to think this. Well, it's because of the two guys in front of those dudes. Kobe could do just as good a job, and plus we drafted them. Those other guys are rentals. Then you start getting personnel people making coaching decisions. That's a coaching decision, not a personnel decision. And that's the rub with Doug and Howie right there. Because Howie will want Kobe in there. Why? He drafted him. Okay? You know how he's you know how he has an affection for the people he drafts. Okay? You know how he loves the people that he drafts. Okay? So it wouldn't shock me. Howie is in the room there when they're making personnel decisions on who's going to play. That Howie goes, well, you know, the two guys in front are playing great ball. He's not really all that wrong. But for a guy all of a sudden who's missed 4 weeks to go back in there and take two guys out that are playing well, you could upset the entire chemistry of what you're developing with Sean Desai. And it makes it harder for Sean Desai. I agree with you when it comes to Jalen not seeing the field right now, but that can be fixed. This is not a wildcat. He's not I'm not saying he's a wildcat guy. Okay? I am not saying he's a wildcat guy. That is not at all what I'm saying. Okay? I'm talking about the fundamentals. Hey, Tone, can you make sure you send that again to him? We'll send it back again to Joe Theismann for 4:30, please. Hang on here, guys. So this is a fundamental issue here. Again, when it comes to people getting into the way. Okay? Winning is a fundamental. I'm not sure what that means. Okay. Sorry, guys. I apologize for this here. Yeah. It's all good. Yeah, I know. 4:30, Joe Theismann will join us. So I just texted you the email there. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, so where they are right now, Jalen's still learning, man. Here's why potentially it could get better. He's going to get better at reading defenses. Okay? He is. He's going to get better. Philip. Look at Philip's comment there. By the way, I'm going to show you how to beat Philly, and I'm going to show you how to beat Washington. Okay? Here in a second. Look at what Philip just said. Philip, it's a great take. The Latin, the Bucks blitz hurts on 61% of the dropbacks. His passer rating was 40 versus blitzes and 126 when he got blitzed. He needs to play better versus blitzes. I also think that that's pass protection too, though. Latin, that's pass protection too. They're having problems with internal blitzing. And that's kind of going to get to my point here on how to beat Washington. And also, if I was Washington and Eric Bieniemy, how to beat Philly. I'm going to get to that here in a minute. They are struggling. I would say they're more struggling with the backs, though. Okay? I would say, Washington, you just start Sam Howell. Drew, Tyler Heineke beat you. Full strength. Don't talk like that. It's a divisional game and you're on a short work week. Isn't it crazy when you listen to that shit like that, when that guy goes like this, just start Sam Howell. You're on a short work week. You're playing a divisional opponent who beat you a year ago with lesser talent at full strength. Well, we had turnovers. That's a you problem, not a Washington problem. That's a you problem. Okay? That's totally a you problem. You're going to blame Washington for winning a game because you had turnovers? That's asinine. That is absolutely asinine. Well, we had turnovers. Of course you did. It's the only way to beat Philly if you're Washington. How's that a Washington thing? Okay. Let's do this. I'm going to start first with how to beat Washington. Then I'm going to go, if I was Washington, how to beat Philadelphia. If I am the Eagles this week versus this team, internal pressure, young quarterbacks, pressure in their face, make them step up. You got to get outside pressure, keep them contained, and keep getting that internal pressure. It'll be a nightmare for them. And right now you're getting the push with Davis and Carter. Continue that. Maybe even bring a blitzer coming up the middle there. See if they can handle it. He's struggling right now with 19 sacks, and so is that O-line. So what's that mean? Don't let him sit back there. And Monty Kiffin told me this a long time ago, especially when you have a young quarterback. Do you know who Monty Kiffin is? Monty Kiffin is the guy who was the defensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense back in the day. And you know what he always tells you? When you got a quarterback like a Sam Howell kind of guy, get him off his point. Every quarterback like a Kurt Warner or a Dan Marino, they have a spot that they want to get to. Get him off him. Move him around. Move him to his uncomfortable side, left side. To me, Howell doesn't like to go to his left. Move him over there. Slide him over there a little bit. Bring pressure from the strong side. Make him have to go left. He doesn't look like he handles that very well. And he's not handling internal pressure very well. So for me, if those guys in the O-line for Washington, and I don't think they're going to be able to handle these two guys, if they get a push up the middle, I'll tell you what, Sam Howell, man, he may have a couple pick sixes. He may be sitting on the bench by the end of the game. If that pressure comes through, okay, you don't really need to be crazy in blitzing. Those two guys are playing great football, and he and Washington and the O-line are struggling right now. Quan goes, Howell's atrocious. Well, then the Jalen's atrocious because he's got the same stats. Okay? He's got the same stats, Quan. Same exact stats as Jalen Hurts. That was my point yesterday. Not that Howell's better than Jalen. He's playing Sam Howell ball. Carter will kill him. I don't. Thank you, Drew. I got it. Again with the stats? Yeah, because stats are trends. Absolutely. Players look at them. Players look at 10. Do you know what stats are for people that don't understand football, which many of you obviously don't? What do you think stats are for football players? They're tendencies. They're tendencies. That's what they become. They're tendencies. Okay? This is what they like to do. This is what they're good at. This is what they're weak at. This is what they like to do on 3rd and 4, minus 30-yard line. This is what they like to do on the plus 45, 2nd and 7. That's how you prepare for a game. It's through tendencies. Jalen's last 21 games don't matter. 3 games matter. They don't go back 21 games. They go back 3 games. And he's 25 and 11, or he's 26 and 11. Stop telling 75% of the story. He's 26 and 11. Jesus, criminy. You make anything sound absurd. You're absurd. Absurd. And please, Commanders are ranked 22nd against the run. I'm going to get to that. So here, please, dear God, I got a prayer for the Eagle offense. Please get the ball to Dallas Goedert. Washington cannot defend him. They cannot defend him. They don't have the linebackers to defend him. Run that guy up the seam. I want to see 10 catches with him and 20 carries with DeAndre Swift. You blow that team out doing that. If Jalen throws the ball 35 times, you lose. If they throw the ball 25 times, run the ball 35, got it with 8 catches, you blow them out. You blow them out. You blow them out. You start doing other things and start getting 3 and outs, you'll be in trouble like you were last year against Washington. You have the tools to blow this team out. Get Dallas Goedert the ball. Dude, if you get Goddard the dang ball, Devontae Smith's going to be wide open, streaking down the middle of the field. And he'll be in single coverage. Get Goddard the ball. I can't be any more expressive to that. Jalen's not playing good football. He's playing Sam Howell football, playing good football. You're nuts when you say that, and you're lying. But you have, hey, by the way, you have the tools to blow this team out. Will you do the right fundamental things to blow this team out? Okay? Josh Allen and the Bills dominated because you know what they did? They fundamentally knew exactly what to do. And they told Josh Allen, you don't have to throw for 375 yards to put yourself in a position to have 3 interceptions. They dominated him and blew him out. You're right. I just told you that. Jalen doesn't have to throw for 275 yards in this game. But will they do that? Yet to be seen. Yet to be seen. We'll see. Okay? They need to get back to their recipe. Merrill Reese agrees with you. Hey, they need to get back to their recipe. How do we kill this team? Run it 38 times. I think the money's getting in the way of Hurts. There, I said it. I think the money's getting in the way of Jalen. And I'm not talking about a comfort zone. I'm talking about pressure. That he feels he's got to be the centerpiece because with more money comes more responsibility. I completely believe. Even Boomer Esiason said he's got to learn to play with the money. Boomer said, do you remember that off comment tone that Boomer said? Boomer had an off comment. I didn't really think about it. And Boomer goes, he's got to learn to play with it. And I realize it now. You know what that comment means? Dog, if it's 154 yards I throw for, or if I have to throw for 275 yards, doesn't matter. Because when you guys keep that saying 3-0, okay? When you add that cash to it, yeah, I believe he surely does. Look, I'm not saying Jalen's going, hey, I got my money now, and I'm going to go to the beach and to Cabo, and then, I'm all good, and, F it. And, that's not where I'm at with that. That's not what I'm saying. If Jalen Hurts throws for 154 yards, do you think he's happy with that or okay with it? And he's even addressing it now. Since when is winning become a bad thing? No one said being 3-0 is a bad thing, Jalen. Only you said it. See, he got defensive there. Well, Jalen, your offense is not really playing well, and you're kind of struggling in the passing game. Jalen was the one that offered up, hey, since when did winning become a bad thing? No one said it was, Jalen. You brought it up. You kind of exposed yourself a little bit there. No one brought it up that 3-0 is bad. I doubt anybody in Philadelphia asked the question, Jalen, do you think 3-0 is bad? Jalen brought that up or added it. That's pressure. That's pressure. No one asked him about 3-0. People were asking him about the stuttering and puttering offense. And then he added in, since when is winning a bad thing? No one said winning is a bad thing. No one. Who said that? You did. Goddard. Goddard is the key to the blowout. He's the key to the blowout. You start doing other shit, and you start getting 3 and outs, you keep Washington in the game. They got the coaching staff on that side of the ball to keep you in it. Okay? They got the coaching staff. And so far, you haven't really handled good coaching. You haven't. You've been out-coached in 2 of the 3 games. Okay? I mean, completely out-coached in 2 of the 3 games. So if I were you, this is probably one of the better coaching staffs, too, that you'll face all year. Now, how to beat the Eagles. We showed you how to beat Washington. Here's how to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. There is no question. The number one priority in that Washington Commanders defensive meetings and position meetings is the emphasis on stopping the run. They have to stop the run. If they can't stop the run, everything else it's irrelevant. They have to stop the run. They cannot have 5 yards of carry. 5 yards of carry, you know what it leads to? It leads to being owned in time of possession, field position, and just the whole clock management. And it limits you in plays offensively. It limits you in series. If you look at the one thing that really has happened for the Eagle defense the last couple games, look how limited amount of plays that Eagle defense is allowing to the opposing teams. It's exceptional. Actually, when you're holding teams in the 50s to 50 plays, you're killing a team. It's not really indicative of what the score is when you're doing shit like that. If I'm running 79 plays and you're running 50, you have no chance to win that game unless you have massive turnovers. There's not a chance in hell you're winning that game. When you're 2-1 in plays, that means you're 2-1 in field position, time of possession, And if you're not turning the ball over, you might as well have your hand tied behind your back. And in the other hand, a white flag. Because there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. But if you're sputtering with 3 and outs, and going into that game last week, you were third in the NFL in 3 and outs, that's why you're allowing teams to stay in ball games. So, again, Washington has to stop the run. It's imperative that they stop the run. I think that's the tough sled for them. There is no question. The strength of the Philadelphia Eagles is not the quarterback right now. It's the O-line. You got to dominate them at the point of attack. You've got to do everything that you feasibly can if you are Washington to not be dominated by that Eagle O-line. They've got good players in there. Okay? They've got some good players, and they shut you down last year. They could do it again. Okay? They can do it again. Washington has to attack the middle of the field in the passing game. They have to. Hey, look, as good as they played last week against Baker Mayfield, okay, quite frankly, I'm still not sold on that linebacking core, and I'll never be. I think it's okay. Okay? It's okay. It's not great. That's not a great defense. If you want to loosen up the fans, do the show, whatever. Philly, thank you. Thank you for the money. I'm still not sold, so if I were them and Eric Bieniemy, I would attack the middle of the field. 9-minute drives means you own. Okay, I just said that. Let the defense focus on Jalen Hurts. Others shine defensive plays. What I would do is I would make Jalen Hurts beat me in the passing game. I don't think he can. Because he hasn't won a game yet this year. Now, that's not saying he can't. But if the passing game, as you guys say, this is the perfect game for him to get the passing game going. If you don't get your passing game going against that football team that's given up 19 sacks, and Sam Howell has 340 yards on Monday, I'm killing that guy on the air. Fair enough? If Sam Howell outplays Jalen Hurts on Sunday, do we have an agreement? And if Jalen outplays Sam Howell, that means we're looking at maybe potentially turning the corner. Do we have a deal? Do we have a deal? Or is it going to be another shitty excuse on why the guy's not playing well right now? Until the day comes that Jalen play cost us a few games, your vitriol towards him is irrelevant, Sells. No one cares about your stats. I don't care about your whatever you just did. Great. We'll agree to disagree. Thanks for your input. Okay? So let me ask you this. So Washington split with you last year. Man, that's a typical day for you. I'm not sure what that means. English. Try it. Sam Howell is okay. You have a chance to really turn the corner here against Washington. Okay? I can't wait till Sunday. I don't think this is going to be as easy as you think on a short work week with a division opponent that beat you last year at full strength with a better roster. You guys think it will be. I don't. I think you win. But it'll be like the rest of your ball games so far. Close. Okay? Close. Okay? Yeah. And wait a minute. You better be 4-0. It's Washington. Ron Rivera's on the hot seat. We're going to talk to Joe Theismann at 4:30. We'll get his sense of what he thinks about Washington. Players dropping passes, running wrong routes. Of course, blame it on everyone else except the quarterback who makes $50 million. Prime example of somebody always looking for off-ramps for people that are held accountable. When you're the quarterback of an NFL football team making $50 million, it's on you. Fairly or unfairly. It was on Wentz. What up, man? 31-12 Eagles win. Hurts 580 yards. There you go, baby. 580 yards would be the most yards he has total all year long. Be great. He'd double his output. Yeah. He'll double his output. Hey, Joe Theismann will join us at 4:30. I'm going to ask him about the brotherly push. That's what I'm going to ask him. Does he think it's a football play? Former NFL MVP of the league. Okay? Hey, don't forget, folks, the 40th anniversary of our good friends at Hooters. 7 locations in the Northeast area. We so love the fact that the official home of the National Football Show is indeed Hooters, King of Prussia. 7 locations. Go to northeasthooters.com to find one of those 7 locations. If you can't get into any one of the stores, Hooter Girls will take the food out to you, man, by ordering hooterstogo.com. The iconic Hooter Girls. By the way, go into one of the places and you can experience the 40-year traditions like Tuesdays, buy 10 wings, get 10 boneless free. Wing Wednesdays, 1983, all you can eat. Kids eat for free on Saturdays. All the great happy hour specials. $6, 6 items. Simple as that. Go to northeasthooters.com. That's northeasthooters.com to find one of those 7 locations. Hour number 2 coming up. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Football and Hooters, the